Hi, I woke up today and the Mako repair house was very cold indeed. A quick check presented me with error 6. Now this is a Honeywell Smartfit and error 6 means the hot water motorised valve is short circuit. Now just to double check, I unplugged it and then it became open circuit. So I'm sure it is the valve. New actuators are silly money, take a while to deliver, so it's time to take it apart. Okay, the actuator just pulls off and the modular cable unplugs. It's really simple, it's a modular system. Now I've taken off the central heating valve as well, just in case I need to compare the two. Now it's on the bench, you can see it's part number ML7300A1004. I've marked the lever positions and things like that in pencil, just in case I need to align things later. So I'm just focusing my attention on the hot water one. These are size 10 Torx. That's just a backing plate, holding the clip on the back so it won't turn while I'm doing this. It should hopefully part company. Yeah, and there we have it. So there's not a lot in here. So here's a motor. It drives this reduction gear, goes onto another gear just here, and onto another one, that's another reduction, and then onto this worm gear. And this, of course, means that turns around and progresses this slowly backwards and forwards with a fair bit of torque. If this reaches the end of its travel and can't go any more, then this worm continues to turn and pushes in at this end. Underneath there, there's a micro switch. You can just see the two leaves of the metal just there. So that's how it knows when it's reached the end of travel, at least in that direction. So there we go, the motor's running. You can see the worm turning. So that's 8 volts, it seems to be running absolutely fine. I'll just turn that off. And we shall reverse the connections. And it runs that way too. So I think all that's happening is just going over current every time it tries to turn. We've got a 470 microfarad 10 volt capacitor here. 470 microfarads 10 volts, and it is not polarized. Yeah, the chances of me having a 470 microfarad non-polarized capacitor are pretty slim. Let's see how it reads. So it's reading nearly 700 microfarads. Yeah, that's a dead giveaway that it's leaking DC current across it, and it's 819k resistance, which is hopelessly low. So that is the source of the fault. The question is what to do, since I don't have a non-polarized or bipolar electrolytic. I'm going to just double check to make sure, but I'm pretty sure. So I think the answer is in this instance that I can cheat and put what amounts to a little diode bridge on here, feeding a polarized one, or a pair of polarized ones possibly. Anyway, I'll have a think about that. Okay, so I've grabbed a couple of 470 microfarad capacitors, and I'm going to connect them together. They're negative and they're positive. So here's what I'm making. It's not really a replacement for a bipolar capacitor, but in this instance, the motor runs one way, then several hours the opposite. And we're only interested in the behavior at the start and stop. So considering just charge and phase shift at those times, this solution should hopefully do the trick, at least temporarily. So the reason I'm doing this twisting is just to make it easier to solder. You can't always do this, but I think for this application, it will work. And these two, of course, come together at the other side. So I'm just doing this simple turn just here, just so that I can easily connect my wire up to the motor. Okay, that's soldered. So here's our negative. We're not allowing positive energy through onto that negative pin. This one here, this is the positive, and we're only allowing positive energy through to it, not negative. So strictly, I don't think it matters which way I put this, but I think it's going to be easier if I put this long leg down at the bottom. So I'm just tacking that top on just for a second, just so I can tackle the positioning and getting everything right. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. You know, I think that might do me. So now just reassembling, attaching the back plate and the lever, making sure everything is aligned. The lever fortunately turns out to be keyed, so it only goes on one way. So okay, we'll reassemble. I need to go and fit it and let's see what happens. So the central heating one's working down here. And there's our hot water one working. Well, my boiler is now running, my toes are defrosting, I just need to put in an order for the proper capacitor. So I hope you enjoyed this little bodge to get the heat on, and if you did, please remember to subscribe, like, share with others, and leave some comments. Bye for now, stay warm.